Okay, I'm about to show y'all the importance the importance of buses. I got a kick, snare, and hi-hat. Actually, a bootleg metronome, which I'm going to keep. That's this. And you know what? I might actually turn this into a YouTube video. I don't know. A good way to make your drums, if you use, separate tracks like I did here, many times I'll put it on one track, but this time I got everything separated. But if you want to glue them together, the key is to use a bus. Use a bus and compression. And we're going to do that right now. So I have a kick, snare, hi-hat, and a second hi-hat. So let's just go ahead and use all these right now. And that's that. And the first thing you want to do is kind of, set your levels where you want them to be. So I'm kind of satisfied with that right there. I always want my snare and my kick to stand out, of course, and have some nice noise. And I have some noise, but to kind of glue everything together is what you got to do. And again, I'm using Logic. And what I'm about to talk about, this applies across the board. Depending on what you use, Ableton, FL Studio, whatever you use, you might have to do it a different way to get to the result I'm getting, but it's the same concept, however you get a bus. So I'm in Logic. What I'm going to do is select these 4 drum elements, and I'm going to create what's called a track stack. Create a track stack. So I just do that. I hit the control mouse or right click, and then it's going to ask me to, create a summing track. I want a summing track. So now what that did was group all this together into a bus. So now, see this on the left? It says bus. Well, I know it's real small. Y'all can't hardly see it, but it says bus number 5. So now it's up to me to put whatever I want on that bus. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a compressor on there. So put a compressor on it. Boom. And then I'm going to use drum mix compressor. This is a preset. Now let me hear what that sounds like so far. So you can definitely hear a difference. And what I could do after that is throw an EQ, and I'm gonna show you the difference of where you place the EQ, because some people put an EQ before the compressor and others put it after the compressor. We're gonna do both ways so you can hear the difference. So let's choose this vintage drum preset EQ. And then we're going to adjust that because I don't like that at all. That's without it. That's with it. Now let's see what that sounds like when I reverse the order. That way the EQ is on top. So really it's up to you guys, man, however you want to do that, whatever sounds better to you. Just know when you compress after the EQ, it's going to compress whatever, frequencies that you have for the EQ. So that's why a lot of people like to use the EQ first and then the compressor. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna keep it like that. And now let's put everything else back in. Okay, so now what I could also do with like that snare, I want a little bit of reverb, or I could put it on the whole bus if I wanted to. Let's say, for example, check this out. Let's say we want to add some reverb, and I'll just use the Chrome Verb. Let's use drum room. So I got it 100% wet, and then I'm gonna just use the bus to turn up the dial on the left. Y'all hear that? Hey. So you just experiment. Oh, airy. Let's try airy. I gave it a crazy texture to it. And then what you could do is maybe add a little bit of delay. And I'm gonna do, let's try this tape delay. Makes it breathe a little bit. And I'm just, you know, experimenting. It's subtle, but like when you stop everything else, you hear it, but it's crazy. And you can turn the wetness down on that if you want to. And that's why I love using buses, you know. There you go. Anybody got any questions? Hey. Now, obviously, you could go into each individual sound, like the snare and hi-hat, and mess with the EQs to clean it up some. You could do that.